you in there. Okay, so now we're in Substance Painter and we're gonna bring in that model that we just made from Maya. So I'm gonna go to File, New, and I'm gonna go to Select, and I'm gonna find, oh, here it is right here. Here's my wall scene. Double click on this and click on OK. Now look what happened. It brought it in, right? If we go over here to texture set list, this might have all brought it in as one thing. Oh yeah, layered over everything. So what we want to do is we want to export this in a different way. So I'm going to go back to Maya right here, and I'm going to select this right here. This, oh no, you know what it is? Should have added materials. That's exactly what it is. So you right click and I go to assign new material, and then I go to Maya, and then I go to, Arnold, and then I go to AI standard surface, and I'll type this, I'll make this say wall MTL for wall material. And then I'll select all these on the bottom right here. And the only thing is these are all laid out over the same UV. So I might have to lay these out a little bit differently. You know what I'm gonna do for this? I'll just do the wall. I'm just gonna do the wall and I'll do the rest later. I'll add in some other objects. So I'll right click. Because there's another way where we can like have all these in there. What? Yeah, so I'll just select this. Yeah, so this already has material on it. So I'll just go to export this. So let's go File, Export Selection, and then I'll just name this wall wall geo, right? Now we're back in the substance, and I'll just do this again. Go to New, select wall geo. Okay, discard the old one. Now we have our wall in here, right? So this is like our layers, like in Photoshop. And this is showing the UV tile. Matter of fact, if I go over here to this and I go to 3D, 2D, now we have our wall UVs that we brought in, that we made, and here's the wall. Look. All right. So those are the UVs laid out. But remember, we have our bad boys here, right? So if we go like this, we can see it squished over there, but we don't care about these, so it doesn't matter. I'm just showing you that the rest of these textures that we have are on the other areas. So I'll just do Control Z. So now I just want to do something kind of quick. I want to make this thing concrete. So I'll click on this, go back to 3D. And if I want to, I can go to my layers right here, because right now it's on my wall material, because I named it wall material. Now, right now, yeah, let's make this thing concrete. So what I can do is I can go here and I can even type in concrete, C-O-N for concrete, and we have all these materials. So if I take this right here, I take it and I drag it over to this area, bang, now we have a concrete wall. Now you could say, hey, that's a concrete wall, but the scale's a little bit too large. No problem. I'll just go and take this scale and scale it down a bit. All right. And then you can say, you know what? The color, I don't like that. Well, I can go into saturation. I can turn it up so I can make it hotter, cooler. Luminosity is like the brightness of it, so I can take it down a little bit. I can also go to hue, change it a little bit, make it something else. What if I don't like that color at all? Right? Well, I can also change, I can change well, this one doesn't have any color parameters where I can actually change the color. Some of them do, some of them don't. Oh, and something else, random seed, random. This just means like the pattern of the roughness. So if I click on this, I can get different kind of looks. So it's just like randomizing the look of this. You have something called normal intensity. If we look at this, well, actually, we can't see the change in this yet because there's one thing we have to do in order to really see what this wall looks like, and that's to go to texture set settings, and then you scroll down and you go to bake mesh maps, and then we go right here, and we change it to 2048, and we go to bake selected texture. And all this does is it takes the position of the object and um, the normals, so that's like the direction of the polygons, and it just does a bunch of like calculations so that when we change this stuff, we can really see like a change. And what I mean is this, like the height range right now, how it looks like it's more in depth, that's because we just did that setting. So right now it's kind of thick, and then we can kind of like make it not so heavy. And then we have height position, which if I turn this up, we will see it probably a little bit more. It's like the position of the height of this. This material, I'm not liking it so much. I kind of like it, but not so much. So what I can do
Why?
is I can hide it. Well, it's just the way it looks. It doesn't look super concrete-ish to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'll hide it and I'll experiment with another one, right? So I'll go to this concrete and I'll put it right here now. So now I have a different one that I'm messing with, right? And then I can go over here to the scale and do the same thing, kind of adjust the scale a little bit more. But one thing I want to show you is that there are different parts of this, right? So there's height, there's the roughness, there's metal, which makes it look like metallic, and then there's color. So let's just say for whatever reason, I like the color of this, I like the look of it, but I just don't like the height. I can take off the height, I can take off the roughness, I can take off the metal, right? So now this thing is just like a flat wall. It doesn't have any of the depth or any of the other controls that this one had. So if I take this off, let me bring this here, right? So we see like the little height that it has. If we go over here, so we see this. So let's say I like this height, but I don't like the color on this. Since this is the layer on the bottom, I can go to this one, click on this, and for this, I'll just take off the color. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. So now this has the color of this one, but it has like the height settings of this one. See, if I turn off the eyeball, we're looking at this one. Turn it on, it has this. And if I turn off this one, we don't see the depth anymore. And also we have this right here, so I can adjust this and give it like a certain percentage. So I don't know if y'all messed with Photoshop before, but we can like blend this and kind of like come up with something in between if we wanted to. Now this has a concrete color parameter. So I can click on this and actually adjust it and change the color a bit. So I can make it darker, lighter, brown. I can make it a purple wall, pink wall or something if I wanted to. Now
Quick
this is,
question. Oh.
Mhm.
So you were saying you could go into Photoshop and whatever, well, not whatever you said, but I heard what you said. But would you use Photoshop just to make like completely new textures, or would you do that in Substance Painter?
Oh, you mean to make like these over here?
Mm-hmm.
There's another program called Substance, I think Designer. I forget the name. But you can actually make textures in that. I haven't done that really because I've just had a lot of luck with these textures, so I've just kind of stuck with
I
this.
was just curious.
But there is another way to do that. But
Okay.
I will show you this. There's a way where we can actually add textures into here. Well, let me show you this real quick. Let me go to ooh, I don't want to go to that program on the video. So I'll just go over here And let's get something. Let's go to graffiti, right? So I go to graffiti, I go to images, and I'm gonna go to filter, image size, extra large. Use Bing and Google, you might get different results. Let's go to this guy right here. He's really good. His name is Rhyme. And let's take this one. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. So let's go to save image, and then I'll go to graph, right? So this is why I love this program. Right now, I'm gonna bring this inside of this program. So I'll go to, where's it at? Is it this? Is this it? No. Yeah. Hmm. Huh. This one's different from the other one, the setup. So is it this? No, that's not it. Save, filter. Oh, import resources. Cool. Add resources. Now go over here and now do rhyme. So I'll get this graffiti piece. I'll go in, name it a texture. And then I'll say, I'll just use current session import. So let's see where it is. So I'll click off of this. So this is our material, smart mask, filters, brushes, textures. So click on textures. It should be in here somewhere. I don't see it. All right. Okay, so I just had to type it in. I don't know what location is, but I just remember the name, so that's good. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on this right here, which is add a new layer, and I'll name this graph, right, for my graffiti, and then I will go to. Where's that? Sorry, this one's a little different because the thing's laid out, but I mean it's the same program. So I'll go to projection, click on projection. So I'm in my graph layer. And then right here, it says base color, right? So I'll take this and drag it into here. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. Take it, you see the plus sign, drag it in. Now it's in there, right? Now what I can do is see my walls in the background, and this is like a projection. If I press the letter S and drag it up, it'll like scale this image down. All right. So now I have this right here. And if I also hold down Alt and Shift, I can get like, it'll like snap to like certain viewports. I mean, so it'll like look at it from the top, Alt and Shift, and it'll give you like an orthographic view, kind of like the four-way view we have in Maya. So I'm just gonna zoom in. I just gotta press S, and I can also uh, left click will rotate it, right click will zoom it in and out. And there's also a way to tile it, but we don't want to tile this yet. This is just to get us started in the program. So if I go right here and I take this and I just left click and paint, now I have this photo on my wall. All right. Now the projection's still there. To get off the projection, I'll just go ahead and click on this paintbrush. So now we have this here. Pretty cool. And if this was a PNG, if I cut it out in Photoshop, it would just be this piece of graffiti, right? And I could just like cut out the background. And so whatever you have as a PNG will go in and it'll paint perfectly and it'll have transparency on the outside. So you ain't got to worry about it. But since I do have to worry about it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get this eraser right here. And we see this eraser. I can just go in and I can paint this out. Now this eraser has its own properties. So there's hardness, because right now it's kind of got like a soft edge, and you can see it right here, right? If I go right here, we can see the fuzziness. So if I go over here to hardness, now it's like this. So now when I erase, it's like a solid thing. So I'm just gonna go around this, erase these big parts the most I can. So I'm just left clicking and dragging. And then I'll adjust my brush size. Right now it's 10. Let me do it a little bit thinner. And then I'll just go in here and I'll just kind of go around this yellow.
Uh,
Yeah. And the more time you take on this, the better it's gonna look. I'm just gonna be rough with it. Matter of fact, I'll just make my brush a little bigger. Sick time. Ooh. I think y'all get the point. If you take your time on whatever you do, better. Let's go over here. I'm just gonna slowly erase this. Like I said, if you go into Photoshop and do this as PNG, you ain't even gotta worry about this. But sometimes I'll do this just because, And then look, we have this little small section right here. So I'll just take the brush, right? And I'll even zoom in some more just to make sure. So this is so cool. You had to do this in Photoshop before, like literally all in Photoshop. No 3D painting, just go in here and do all this. So yeah, I could do my fine details and yeah, get this thing going well. So I'm real nice with it. That's why like it looks easy the way I'm doing it. I'm just really good. That's all.
Not to brag.
Yeah, you're not to brag. Yeah, but sometimes you gotta, I don't brag a lot about stuff. But driving, motorcycle racing, 3D, I'm a brag. All right. So we have this. A graffiti too. Cool. So now we have this, right? But now check this out. Let's say the wall was old and we wanted to make it a little bit older. We could also make this look faded. And all we need to use is something called a procedural, a mask. So if I right click on this and I can go to add, well, we can do this. There's two ways to do it. Let's just go to add generator, just make things easy. And if we click on generator and we click on this right here, it says generator selected, I can add in generators from, I can go here and select one of these. So I can go to dirt, let's say. Nah, that's not doing what I think it should do. I right click, add black mask, and then I right click, add generator. That's what it is. No. Sorry, that's not it. Let me do this. I'll right click, remove mask, and I'll go over here and I'll get myself one of these. So right here it says ground dirt, dust. Let's do let's do surface worn, right? And if I take this and drag this on top of here, now yeah, this is what I was looking for. See how it's kind of like worn off? And I can go into here. And this basically works like the eraser does, but it has something called a generator. And I can go to the global balance and I can like take away a lot of it, add a lot of it. All right, so I could say, all right, yeah, I want it to look like really worn like this, like it's not there. Or I can say, I want it to look just slightly worn. And then the beautiful thing is, so I can have this looking slightly worn, let's say, and then all you have to do is really just go in here and slide these sliders and be like, oh, okay, what's exactly happening? And you'll like kind of see, you just got to go in and go, oh, okay, that's what that does. So let's say it's like this. But the crazy thing is on top of this, I can right click and I can go to add paint. So now when I'm painting, I can paint in parts that I want. And if I want to erase, I just have to go to this grayscale right here. Because this is like a mask, right? And I can like take out parts. And then this is powerful because I can just go over here to the brushes and I can say, okay, what kind of brush do I want? Oh, I want a dirt brush. Now I'm going in here and I'm like removing this with my own brush. So, yeah. And so this was all just with, so this is my graph layer. This is my concrete layer, right? And this is my one with the bump on it. And I can make this wall dirty as well. I can combine these and then make these into one layer and then add dirt for the bottom of the wall, like coming up. So there's a lot of things we can do. But yeah, it's a pretty cool program. And yeah, we're gonna start making our textures in this.